Okay, in this lesson we're going to explain the components that make up a chart. So go ahead and open up your direct access platform, whether it's Thinkorswim or otherwise, and you should be able to follow along. Okay, now when you're looking at a chart, you are looking at a representation of price movement or price action. Okay, this basically represents the orders that have already been placed in the market and executed. Now, the horizontal axis at the bottom of the chart is going to measure time from left to right, with the most current time being at the far right. Now, the vertical y-axis measures price, and generally the current price is going to be highlighted in the right column. Okay. Now, the colored vertical bars on a chart are referred to as candlesticks. They will either be green or they'll be red. If they're green, that means price closed higher than when it opened for that particular time frame. And if it's red, then that means it closed lower than when it opened in that particular time frame. A candlestick represents executed orders within a specified period of time. And any chart on any given platform is going to provide you with a few details. It's going to provide you with the ticker symbol. And the ticker symbol lets us know which company's price chart we are looking at. You will also find a time frame. This time frame will identify how much time each individual candle represents. Now, on Thinkorswim is a little different. They also provide an aggregate time frame to let you know the length of time the candles span across the chart all together. Okay? The chart will also provide the opening price of the candle within its time frame, the closing price within its time frame, the highest price reached within the candle's time frame, and the lowest price point that was reached within the candle's time frame. The chart will provide volume for the amount of transactions conducted within each candle's time frame, and it'll also provide the volume that was transacted for the entire day. Okay, now if we open up a chart, let's pull up mRNA. Okay, and here we are looking at a day chart. And these are the time frames that are available on my chart. Your chart may look just a little different, but pretty much what you're going to have is a minute chart, a 5-minute chart, 15, 30 minutes, an hour, 4 hours, 1 day, a week, and a month. You'll have a number of various time frames that you can choose from. Regardless of whichever time frame you're on, those time frames are going to or rather, let's say we're here on a day chart. Basically, each one of these candles is now a day. If we change the time frame to 15 minutes, now each one of these candles is 15 minutes. Okay? Now with Thinkorswim, which I believe I have here, I'd like to show you their aggregate chart. Okay, here it is. So see these times on the left for Thinkorswim? This is going to be representative of this, or rather this time frame will set the time frame for the candles. Okay, so if we select 5 minutes, now each one of these candles is 5 minutes. Okay, now this time in the middle is the aggregate time frame. So here we are looking at, let's change it to 15 minutes. Now each one of these candles is 15 minutes, but on this 15 minutes, we are getting an overall period of 5 days. Okay, so 15M is for 15 minutes, and 5D would be 5 days. Okay, so 15-minute candles with an overall time frame of 5 days. Okay, so that's the aggregate time frame on Thinkorswim. Okay, now again, that's just time frame. We also mentioned volume. So if this is where your volume indicator here, if you're scrolling across, it will tell you how much volume was transacted in that particular time frame, or on that particular candle rather, and that particular candle represents the time frame which we specified up here. So this candle is 15 minutes, and on this 15-minute candle there were, looks like, 1,226,560 transactions altogether. Okay, so these are some things that you're going to get from a chart, and any chart that you pull up is going to give you this information. Okay, now I actually thought I typed in mRNA, but it was a different stock. And let's go ahead and clear the chart, and we'll make that go away. So this is the ticker, mRNA. Okay, see the pop-up, it says enter select symbol. If we go to Thinkorswim, we have, this is Roku, and we have the ticker symbol up here. Okay, so that's the ticker symbol. Now we have we've identified the ticker symbol. Let's see what else. We talked about time frames. We talked about how time frames represent each candle. Now let's talk about open, closing, high, and low price. So let's say we have mRNA here. Let's change the time frame. There we go. Now see this box here, it has an open, a high, a low, and a close. Okay, so if we place our cursor here on this candle and we look at that box, we see that this candle had an open price right here. Okay, that is, actually let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit. That way we can get here we go, that's better. So this candle here, for example, had an open price of $462.19. We're looking over here at our box. Okay, that's this price point right there, $462.19. And if you look to your far right, you can see our y-axis with all the pricing on it. And since we're on the subject, if you look at the very bottom of the chart, you'll see the time frame going across the bottom. If you look at the bottom far left, there's 8 o'clock, then 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and so on and so forth. And if you look, it also gives you the date and the time where our cursor is at. Okay, so that's the open price of the candle, and then again your X and Y axis. Now again, going back to this box, we see that at some point this particular candle went all the way up to $464.85. That's this gray wick here. Okay, then we see that this same candle had a low of $450.05. That's this gray wick here. All right, and then we see that this candle had a close of $453 even, and that's this here. Okay, so when you're looking at a candle, this portion of the candle is the body, this portion is the wick, and this portion is the wick. The candle is red because it opened here and it closed here. This candle is green because it opened here and it closed there. Okay, and then at some course throughout this time frame of 15 minutes, price dropped as low as here and it went as high as here for this particular candle. Okay, so that's how you look at a chart. Those are going to be some of the particulars that you're going to have available to you when looking at a chart. And of course, there are many others, but for the most part, these are going to be some very key elements that we're going to be looking at when we're analyzing a trade and going over positions and running our calculations and where we want to base our entries, our stop loss, and ultimately where we would like to take profits. Okay? So before you move on, Go ahead and go back through, review, and understand the different basic charting components utilized by traders and investors to help us make appropriate trading decisions. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.